Keven Meredith.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. Do you want to tell us about your dive into sequencing?
Sure, yeah. So I was very, very young when my great-grandmother first started teaching me how to do embroidery. She was a little German woman, and she made so many things. And I was always fascinated that she could take seemingly nothing and make something really fantastic with it. I thought, how do you do that? And so she started teaching me to sew and to cook and to do embroidery. She never did sequined and beaded embroidery. That's my own addition to the thing. But the little goldfish came about because I was working with and I've always been attracted to the ocean and anything to do with, aquatics, and the beach is just my renewal spot. And working with the sequins, they're very much like scales or feathers or something. And so I just thought, well, how fun would it be to do a little goldfish in sequins? And so I tried one. My first one is actually hanging on a friend's wall now. She was the one who inspired me. She said, you ought to put these in a shadow box and make art with them. Because I was making them, but I was like, well, what do I do with them? And so I thought, oh, well, that's an idea. And I'm really surprised at how well they've been received. People are really drawn to them, and I just think, oh, that's fun. As far as the ceramics go, I took a class at RU in ceramics, and I found myself working with seashells, and I made this vase that looks like coral. I just keep going back to the ocean, and I think I'm just, I live in the mountains, but I'm drawn to the ocean. So, yeah, that's me. I went back to school recently, in 2017. That's fairly recent, right? I have always had this passion for fashion and for making things and design and clothing and accessories. And it just wasn't meant for me to be in college when I was 18 and 19. Had I had the opportunity, I probably would have wasted it anyway. So it's good that it's happening at this time in my life, and that's what's taken me back to Radford University. So this kind of goes right along with what I'm doing there. I go to school and study fashion all day, and I come home in the evenings and sit and watch TV and make little sequined goldfishes, yeah, and other things. Yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything that maybe your professors have guided you toward specifically, or any project in particular that has inspired you from RU?
Yeah, we talk a lot about, and it's so interesting because I think the talks are really geared towards my 18 and 19 and 20-year-old classmates, but they talk a lot about finding who you are and what gets you excited. Because how hard is it to work on a project that you're not excited about? And they talk to these young people about that all the time, but I'm sitting there and I'm hearing that, and I think, yeah, I'm not excited about that. Why am I even doing that? Just start over. And these, as I'm making these things, I'm so excited. I start with the tail, and I get the tail just right, and there's the whole shopping for the various colors of sequins and the different sizes and shapes. And sometimes I spread them all out on a table, and I just kind of play with them in the light to see how they, because different sequins play with the light differently.
And so dynamic than painting.
Absolutely. So I'm just painting. They're like little pixels of sparkly material. And when I'm finished, you stand back from it, and it's nothing more than a bunch of little pieces of plastic with a thread in them, but you stand back from it, and it's this beautiful little goldfish. And I just think, that is so cool. And Zach and I were actually talking about that. I love a museum. There's nothing better than a museum or an art gallery or somewhere where someone's been creating. And I'm always fascinated at how, when you stand back from a painting or a piece of art, you see the whole image, but when you step right up to it, it's just little smudges of paint. It's just little smudges of chalk or whatever the medium happens to be. And that's so fascinating to me. So I hope these will wind up in someone's home where they can be appreciated from afar, but I hope they'll be somewhere where you can get right up on them and really see the detail in them too, because I think, both perspectives are fun, and interesting.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks.